Welcome to another episode of New to Me. I'm Stephen Michael Zach, and today we are talking about the GVM 96. This is their on-camera light. This is their bicolor one, and let's go ahead and just jump into it. I love great video maker products. I have the 580L, I have the 520L, I have the 480, and of course I have, which is not on right now, but I have their 160, and I use those as my studio lights, and I love a lot of their products. But let's jump into this. First off, it is heavy. A little heavier than most. I think this was made to kind of compete with Aperture's kind of new version of this. I'm not sure what that one is called, but it does have plastic edges. It has this very nice, very solid magnetic diffusion plate, and of course all the bulbs are behind glass so that you're not going to break a bulb. Flipping around to the back, you do have this very heavy, very metal heat sink, which probably stops this thing from getting super hot. Which is great, but it does add quite a bit of weight. And at the top, you're going to get power indicator lights. And on the bottom, you are going to get, on this side, you're going to get a DC plug. There is no micro USB or USB-C, so you're going to have to charge this in a wall. Now, it does come with a very nice mount here, nice hot shoe mount, and it works fairly well. Very easy to use. Flipping around to the side, you have your brightness controls and you have your bicolor, daylight, and tungsten control. And those are okay. You do have your on-off button here. It feels a little cheap, like it could break after a while, but it does the job. So not only are you going to get the mount, but you're also going to get this cloth bag to keep it from getting scratched, and you will get a DC jack here. A DC plug here. Now you probably can trip this out with one of those batteries that has kind of a plug to go out, or you can use a cradle and figure out how to attach it to this. But for right now, it does have an internal battery, which again is great, but it is heavy. I'm not gonna lie, it is, first of all, it has a CRI that's greater than 95, which is pretty good. It does only have a bulb spread of 45 degrees, and let's just jump into some light examples. And I am going to be comparing it with this other light I have sitting here, which is the GVB gear, which is their GVB PL12. This is sort of becoming kind of a comparison video, even though I didn't really want it to be, because this is what I'm using now, and I'll get into that at the end of the video. But let's go ahead and look at some samples of this light. So here we are with the GVM 96. This is the on-camera light. This is just the bicolor version, and it's still almost the same brightness as the RGB 86. It's a little brighter, but it's still not as bright as my M12, as my little light. And as you can see, let's go ahead and okay, this does lower a lot more than the other one, maybe to about 10%. So it is decent there. And then let's go ahead and go into the bicolor mode. And this one, again, jumps a little bit, but not as much as the RGB. You could see a little jumping. It's a little jutty when you go through the modes. So there's a little bit of jump at the beginning. And there's a little jump at the end, but it's not as bad as the RGB version of this, which I just reviewed. And of course, this just has on and off, and that's it. The colors are not bad. Let's go ahead and take the plate off. This is supposed to be tungsten, and it's not as orange as the RGB light, and that's probably because the RGB light actually has the lights to mix in the orange, so it's really kind of it's almost bicolor, it's almost tungsten, but not really. And then this is your daylight here, which looks a little green to me. And then when we mix them, that actually looks kind of nice, and that's kind of the brightest we can get it when we mix all the bulbs together. And that's nice, and that's bright. But again, there's no readout on this, so I don't know what color temperature this is. I mean, it's a nice bright light. It's looking pretty good on my hand when you have all the bulbs on. I'm guessing that maybe they put 5500 Kelvin in the middle. That's kind of what it looks like, because it does look like my other daylights. I'm guessing here. I'm probably wrong. It's probably something like 4800 here. But again, there's no readout, so I have no idea. And then when you move to tungsten, it's not consistent, because now it's coming across a little bit more orange, but it's still not super orange. It's not like the RGB light, which when you went down to tungsten, it went orange. Like, I guess the orange RGB lights went on. So this is as tungsten as you get, which looks pretty good on camera. And then when you go up here, it's a little green hueish. And then when you mix them, it's super, 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 super bright. Let's try to mix them completely. Yeah, it's about as much of a mix as you can get. But compare that to the GVB M12. Let's go ahead and turn this off. And again, GVB 12 without a plate, full power, much brighter. I mean, I have it sitting right on top of the light. It is much brighter for only 12 LEDs, and I mean, I got paid $25 for this at B&H on a sale. I got 3 of these. You can pick these up for $40, and the RGB, the regular light goes for about 50-ish. Yeah, I definitely think you should save the money. Get a couple of, even get an Aperture M9 would be much brighter than this. This is really kind of a failure. Really kind of not happy with this. I will most likely be returning both these lights. Also, you can kind of see, if I put my fingers there, you can kind of see it's spotted a little bit. So yeah, very disappointed in this particular light. I do have other GVM panels, and they are so much better. I mean, even their 160s are better than these on-camera lights. Definitely not worth the money. So I'm gonna have to say no to this one too. These both will probably go back. I mean, if you just need a simple on-camera light and you just need a little illumination, then this should be fine. It's not bright by any possible stretch of the imagination. And I'll just put my hand in there and you can see it's just, you know, I mean, if you're doing red carpet interviews and you're up close, well, you know, if you're like 5 feet away, that's good for an eye light or something like that. But I honestly think that you could get away with something brighter, something better. You could definitely get away more with this GVB, with the GVB here. It's just a better light. It's much brighter and smaller, and yes, it's made of plastic, and yes, it gets really hot, but as an on-camera light, this is much better than the GVM. And there you have it. That is the difference between these two. Now, I got the P12 on sale from I think B&H. I got 3 of these for $25 each. And this is much lighter, much easier to carry around. Yes, this does overheat and shut off after long periods of, like, if you use this more than an hour, then it's going to shut off on you. The battery only lasts about an hour, so I think that's just the battery. I don't think it's so much overheating. But it is much more lightweight. Yes, it is made of plastic, but I tend to like this better. It is much brighter. This GVM is very sad. It's just not bright at all. Even when you take off the plate and you mix the bulbs, it's still, compared to something that's 12 bulbs, and then you compare it to this, which is 96 bulbs, this kills it in brightness. And this is much lighter to have on your camera as well. Now, is this useful? Yes. If you need a little bit of light or some eye light, it is, but these are both retail for both $40, and what they come with Like I said, this just comes with a bag and a charger and this little mount, whereas this comes with a very nice neoprene case. It does come with this kind of silly gel that you put behind the diffusion plate. I've actually put real gels behind this. Don't put it behind it because it will melt your gels, but if you slap a gel in front of it, you're gonna be fine. It does come with a micro USB that you can charge in your computer, and it does come with this very cool mount, phone mount, so you could just stick this on the bottom and stick your phone on the bottom and shoot your cell phone video. I'm actually gonna, if I decide to move to a Blackmagic 4K pocket cinema camera, this is great because I already have the mount to hold the Samsung drives. So win-win situation. So it's a win-win situation here. But yeah, that's it. As much as I love GVM, great video maker, this is just not great. This will probably be going back. Kind of disappointed. I am going to try out the RGB version of this, and then we will see how it is. So that's it. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. As always, you can leave them in the notes below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and go ahead and hit that bell button, and you'll be notified when we post brand new videos. I'm Stephen Michael Zach, and this is new to me.